What up? What up? What up? What up, Prep News Sports family? Hey, man, great day. It's been a remarkably great day for the Off the Bench Sports brand. And, and today we made history here in Off the Bench Sports and giving away our first ever postseason awards. And I want to tell y'all a little bit about that first, man. So we gave away two different awards today. The first one was the Hobart Grayson IV Built to Ball Award. It's an award named after my son, who was an incredibly great hooper throughout his high school career. Um, it's a way for me to honor his gift and his greatness that he's shown throughout his high school playing career, as he ended up first team all district, first team all parish, first team all metro, first team all state. And you know, the the part of being able to play ball is one thing. It's a lot of people that can play ball, but when you get defensive district MVP award, that means the coaches that you played against valued the way you played the game. That means a lot. And so for me, I really cared about the way he played the game, and he played the game the right way. And some of you might say, oh, well, that's so selfish of you. Uh, it's really not selfish. It's what you're supposed to do when you revere the work of someone and the way they played the game. I could have named it the Michael Jordan Award, but then y'all would have been complaining about that too. So, um, yeah, I named it after my son because I revered the way he played the game. I absolutely adore the way he played the game. And that's why I named it after him. And so the people that receive the award named after him, they can flat out play. And so for the girls, again, it was Paris Guillory for she played her high school career at St. Louis Catholic High School in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Again, the her senior year didn't end the way I'm sure that she would have loved for it to end, but at the end of the day, yeah, she was a she could go. For the boys, it was Devion Laverne. Devion, man, he put a backpack on, man, that was bigger than life. And for him, his greatness didn't start in his junior or senior year. His greatness started during his greatness started during his freshman year. I remember him, as this skinny little freshman, and he was just happy to be a part of the varsity program. And so Devion, man, kudos to you and Paris. And then the what is it called? The coup de grace. The end all be all is the most outstanding player awards, which at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, this is for the person who was most outstanding. And yes, it's a lot of outstanding kids in our state of Louisiana, but these kids just stood out a little bit more. You had the game plan for them differently, and they were just different. So at the end of the day, uh, we want to acknowledge on the girls' side, we want to acknowledge Michaela Williams, Parkway Lady Panthers basketball. And we also want to acknowledge on the boys' side, and I know y'all gonna say, man, why he do that? Because they earned it. Dorian Booker of Scotlandville High School, as well as E.J. McQuillan Jr., Port Allen High School, they are most outstanding player awards. I felt that, after having conversations with the people that I trust the more in this most in this basketball community, it was really important to honor both of those guys. They did a phenomenal job this season, and I'm just really proud of the growth. A lot of y'all didn't see Scotlandville in Dorian's coming out party in his sophomore year. Dorian couldn't do a big move. He could not do a big move. Like, people was like really trying to destroy this man's character. Same thing with EJ. EJ was a frail freshman that Derrick Jones threw in the mix as a freshman because he was foresightful enough to say, hey, if I give EJ a chance now with his basketball background and his family DNA, yeah, he's gonna be a hooper when he gets to his senior year. And that's exactly what happened. So congratulations to those young men and women. And without further ado, let's bring in our first guest. Yeah, and I love to say this, man. Let me bring him in first. Let me bring him in first, and I love saying this before I introduce him. It's one of my favorite catchphrases in all of sports, and that is nothing bigger than the B, baby. Bossier Bearcats General Justin Collins. What's up, bro?
Man, what's good, man? Just relaxing, man. Sitting back.
Hey, man, you got that look on your face that says, "Yeah, ain't nothing you can do about it. I'm a state champion winning coach."
Well, it's an honor, man. A lot of coaches and people played a big part, but a lot of people, coaches, and haven't had an opportunity to win one. So,
Right,
unfortunate.
right, absolutely, man, absolutely, bro. Now that the congratulatory part is out the way, man, let's just let's get down to business, man.
Let's do it.
First year head coach, first year
Yes,
high
sir.
school head coach, a long time assistant. You got some days under your belt as an assistant. When you applied for the job at Bossier, man, did you think that they made the right decision, or did you say, man, I got to grow into this leadership position?
Well, Coach Bohannon, Nick Bohannon, who was the head coach for the last 5 years, he was the one that brought me on. I was delivering packages, man. I had another job. I wasn't even in the school system, and we went to high school.
Yeah,
And when he got the job, he gave me a call. He said, "Coach, I need you to help me coach, man." I said, "It's like a Thursday." I said, "Man, I don't know, man. Man, at the time I was married and I still with my kids. I said, let me think about it." He said, "I said, so when you need me?" Now it's Thursday now.
he
So I
said
need you.
Friday.
I said, "Hey, coach." So I prayed about it a little bit, man. And, you know, I just listened to what God told me, and I was there Monday. And
Right,
okay, fast forward to now, Coach Bohannon and our principal at the time, Mr. Thrash, pretty much did me a favor, man. They pretty much gave me the keys,
right,
in a sense, having to apply.
right,
That he wasn't going to get out of the business, Coach Bohannon, unless I was the head coach, because he felt like, you've been there. You want to hire within. You got to report with the kids. You
right,
know what the program is all about. And I had to do some things on my end as far as, certification and things like that.
right.
And did that, and they kept true to what they told me, and we here, man. So
Right.
shout out to the guys. I mean, and the all administrators and the staff at Bossier High School. It wasn't nothing that I envisioned or even dreamed about. I was just coming to help.
Right. Hey, man, I want to interrupt you for a second, man. We got another guest that's a part of the Nothing Bigger Than the Beat family. I'm telling you guys, this kid absolutely loves the bright lights. He absolutely loves the big stage, and he wants it. Like if you're out beating bricks in the heat, a guy just wants a cold bottle of water. This kid absolutely wants to compete every time he steps on the court. He is one of my favorite seniors in the state. Prep News family, please, please welcome my guy, Taj Roots.
Yo.
What's up, Roots?
What's up?
Welcome, man. Welcome to Prep News, man. You and Coach Jay, y'all newbies, man. Y'all first timers.
Yo. He's been my coach for 4 years, man. I came up with him.
Yeah. Hey, so how does it feel, man? 48 hours after winning your second one in 4 years. What's it feel like for you, Taj?
It's still like in the back of my mind, it still feel kind of unreal. We've been saying all season that we were gonna get it done. We were gonna get him his ring, his first year as head coach. But still, like, just after it happened, man, it's exhilarating.
Yeah. So, and this is both of y'all question, and Taj, out of respect on each question that I ask, that's for both of y'all. We're gonna let Coach Jay go just because he's the adult, okay? We're gonna let him respond first, all right? Just out of respect thing, all right? So when you guys think about the very first game y'all played together as coach and player, where Coach Jay was the head coach, and the process of saying, damn, we got to get this first win out the way, man. If we can just get this first win out the way, we're going to be able to see how far we can go. What was it like in getting to the first win, Coach?
Well, I try to, I ain't gonna lie, I'm disrespecting nobody. I tried to scale the team that I felt confident.
Really? That's how you gonna play the game?
Hey, look, man. That's how they do it in the college level. They get we play Haughton first. So, you want to,
bro. I would just say this, bro. I will never forget this question. I will never forget this question.
Wait.
And now that I know the answer to the test, it's even funny.
Haughton's a good upcoming program, but what really was the challenge, the test, was the next game. We went to the Negative Central, had a Thanksgiving City of Lights tournament.
Right.
And we Barb, pretty good team. I think they made the third round of the playoffs.
Oh yeah, Barb definitely. They have a great point guard in Jabari Berry. Great supporting cast as well.
And we did well versus them, and then the next challenge was Zachary. We played Zachary, and it was a tough game, man. And we was able to pull that one off, and that let me know, or our coaching staff know, that hey, we might be all right. We might be all right. You don't have to say much about Zachary.
Right.
Confidence.
Ty, what was getting to the first win like for you guys as players, man?
Well, I mean, I knew we had what it takes. We just had to come together as a team, you know what I'm saying? Even though we got a couple guys that can go and score 20 a game and stuff like that, just coming together as a team is really all it took. Because like Coach said, after we played Halton, we were pretty confident about that. But when we went down to Natchitoches Central and we played some tough games down there, from right then I knew we had what it took.
Right. When you see this process of things trending the right way early, Taj, as one of the leaders, and again, if you're watching and if you're paying attention, you can see that from your freshman sophomore year that you came into high school looking to be that guy. Like now you're in your senior year and the ball is in your hand. You get to lead and guide the team. What was that like?
Well, I knew that going to Bossier, trying to play basketball, that there was going to be a chance that you could end up sitting the bench all 4 years. So I came in, that's what it was. I came in with the mentality that, I'm not going to be sitting on the bench all 4 years.
Hey, I want to ask you this, man, and because I've never asked a kid, I wanted to ask Joe Manning this last year, and just never got to it. To me, the best walk down artist I've seen in high school basketball over the last 10 years was Jacoby Decker. Like the dude, forget that he could score the ball. Jacoby's handles were wicked. What's it like coming up behind a Jacoby Decker and a Joe Manning? That guys that just played the game the right way on the court. We ain't talking about who they were off the court, just the work that they did in game on the court. What's that like, Taj?
Well, some people look at it as like I gotta live up to what they do, but it's really just what I take away from them. It's a learning thing. Right. I saw how they led their teams. I saw what they did for their teams. So I take that as a stepping stone and I learn from them and I bring it to my team.
Right. And that's probably the best approach, man. Coach, you were there. Jacoby Decker, entirety of his time. You were there, Joe Manning's entirety of his time. You guys even welcomed him and to go and play football to try to expand who he was as an athlete. And now you got guys like Roots and his supporting cast who I think toughness and discipline are the two key components in winning. Yeah. And your Bossier Bearcats 2022-2023 squad has probably been one of the toughest teams in any class or division all season. What's that been like for you now that you're the head coach and seeing player as they progressed?
Well, at Bossier, Coach Jeremiah Williams would always say the tougher team always wins. That means tougher and physical mentality, and with physical strength and mentally. And right. And well, I got some stories, but we got the old guys, Deckers of the world, and and Deontay Bell, and some of the guys before them, Brother Hall. We call him Brother Hall, Devontae Hall. I think graduated in 2014. A lot of guys come back.
Right.
They didn't feel like we was tough. They told us we was soft.
Wow.
It wasn't tough enough. As they didn't feel like we were tougher than they were. We didn't work as hard. And that's a good thing because, traditionally Bossier has always welcomed the guys from the past to come back.
Right.
And play with the guys a little bit. So that was a challenge that we had to, you don't want to around the city be the team that was soft. In basketball or any sport, that word being soft is about as worse as it can be. That's about as call somebody as an athlete is soft to me.
Right. No, that's to everybody who it means something to. Like
So we prided ourselves on being tough, mentally tough and physically tough. So we felt like last year team got out tough by Wiseman in the semifinals.
Okay.
That was a challenge our coaching staff gave to the players that if we lose, they're not gonna tell. If we get beat, we get beat. But they ain't gonna be because we not. The other team ain't gonna say, or anybody, any fans or anybody gonna say, well, they just out tough you. They were tougher. So that's a challenge that we brought upon our guys, and they responded to it. They responded to it.
Man, coaching in this process, man, I remember. I think that was in 19 when y'all won it.
20.
20, yeah. Same Prep News podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I think we were in the quarterfinal rounds. I do my podcast, and Coach Marlon Anderson is watching.
Mm-hmm.
And I pick you guys not because I'm not a fan of Bossier,
right,
but because I just thought the way the player matchups were that I don't even remember who you guys were playing. That's the crazy part.
Third round we played Ridgewood that year. Played Ridgewood, and we lost starter Otis Smith. He got us some off the court trouble, and our big guy, Deontay Bell, last season. So going into the playoffs, that's two starters. That's two starters. So we would have to rely on the Cody Duke Dean.
Yeah, who killing it. Killing it.
Dean and some guys that really were JV guys, honestly.
Right.
And to step into the role. So I get it. I would have probably said
No, it was just real spiel, man. So I remember after you guys won that quarterfinal game, Coach Marlon calling me, hitting me. No, after y'all won the state championship, he it seemed like he called me before the game was over. Like, y'all on the bench cheering, and he called me. He like, "Thank you for the motivation, bro. Thank you for the motivation, bro." I took and copied the part of you saying. Now he didn't get none of the good stuff I said about Bossier. Just the part where it said that you guys wouldn't win.
Yeah.
And he said, I took this in there, all the players in the locker room, I showed it to him, and I told him, don't talk to you anymore. I said, man, you just crushed my whole spirit. In this process of coming into the playoffs, 2023 school year, everyone had Wiseman favored,
right,
to win. And as the season progressed, and if people say that they didn't, they're just telling a lie.
Right.
Everyone had Wiseman and Carroll depicted in the finals. What was going through you guys' mind at Bossier in hearing all the talking and all the rumbling?
Well, I mean, that's fair, man. I try to be honest, man. I try to be a realist. We played Wiseman earlier, and they got us in their place. We've seen them all year. I felt like they one of their better teams they had in years as far as basketball players, to me.
Right.
And but I don't. That motivated us because we've been having naysayers all year, especially when we were 10-9. We were 10-9 midpoint of the season.
Right.
And a lot of doubters, but we played a good schedule, tough schedule, and that tough schedule helped us to be ready for the district and the playoffs. So, and, everybody has an opinion on that, man. Wiseman, they looked the part. They beat everybody. And everybody has their opinion, but you got to throw that ball up and play.
Right, you got to play the game. If it was built based upon numbers alone,
right?
Why play the season?
Right. So, we just told our guys, man, just challenged them, and we felt confident that that we could play with them. I mean, they beat us by 9 at their place, and you know we know we can play with everybody in the state. We felt like, but you still got to go out there and play. So
Right.
we challenged the guys. We kind of changed some things up a little bit for the defense. Went to zone a little bit and just try to see if they can make some outside shots. But
Right.
I don't mind that, man. You need if you need some motivation or whatever you need, man, and everybody picking the other team. It worked first. It worked in 2020. We had to do it again and challenge our guys, man. So it's a tribute to our guys who stayed locked in and stayed focused and trusted what the coaches had in place for them. Trusted the process and the steps.
Right. Right. I agree 100%, man. You guys get past Wiseman.
Mhm.
The entire high school basketball community is shocked.
Right.
The entire basketball community is left with its mouth hanging to the floor.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have I think a 48-hour turnaround
Mm-hmm.
before you guys have to play in the state title game against Carroll.
Mm-hmm.
How hard was it getting the information you needed to prepare to play against Carroll?
Well, good thing is we familiar with Carroll. We played them early. We played them in the Ridgewood Classic.
Richwood.
Yeah, Ridgewood Classic earlier this year. And we played them last year, 3rd round playoff. We played them the year before that. We go play them sometimes in the summer. Then we scrimmage them. So it's a familiar team.
Right.
At this point, we knew what they was gonna do. They knew what we was gonna do. But you got to be able to execute and get stops. And it wasn't to answer the question. It wasn't much of a challenge to prepare for them. It was more of a challenge for our guys that, man, we were in the state championship. It's gonna be tough, and we felt confident that we would be able to be able to play with them at least.
Right. Man,
That's the key.
like again, Carroll had a lot of guys. Coach Lonnie Cooper, who was their previous head coach, he did a great job, I think, of playing a lot of people. And again, a really big win for you guys. And we look forward to seeing what's next. We don't know how it's gonna happen, but we know it will happen. And you guys did a really great job, man. Again, congratulations. Super duper proud of you guys. Anybody you want to shout out real quick, man, and just tell them thanks for their support of Bossier basketball.
I want to shout out definitely Coach Jeremiah Williams,
Right.
Coach Bohannon,
Right.
my boy, my friend, my brother Marlon Anderson. My guy. What I mean.
That's my guy, man. That's my guy.
Other coach, Ra Morris, man, and Roots' older brother, Kalis Roots. Ra and Coach Marlon and those guys, they make my job easy. They do so much stuff behind the scenes. They don't get enough credit, so I want to give them their flowers, man. Without them guys, we wouldn't be able to do this. But man, the Bossier community, man. I mean, when you say nothing bigger than the B.
Nothing bigger than the B, baby.
Man,
nothing bigger than the B.
Yeah, I use it that's like a 6 man. Our fans, I support, man. They give you life, brother. They give you life.
Right.
They showing love that too, man. And I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you, man, because
no doubt, man.
Yeah, platform you got to get these guys, just the exposure, man, recognition that our state need, because feeling the need that's need that's a need. That's what you're doing there. You're feeling it, man. So shout out to you for having me, man. Keep doing what you do, and man, I just thankful, man, for the opportunity, because I know I'm fortunate to be state champion. So I'm just fortunate to be a coach at Bossier. You know how many people want that job?
Right, a lot, a lot.
I'm happy for that. You know?
Right, right. Hey, Prep News family, man, we want to thank Coach Justin Collins, Division III non-select, Division II non-select state champion boys basketball head coach at Bossier High School. We want to thank him, and hey, you know what it is, bro. One love.
Yes, sir, man. Have a good one, brother. Appreciate that.
No doubt. Anytime.
All right, brother.
Hey, coming up now, man. We got my guy. All he does is win, man. All he does is win. Build futures, build brighter futures, and he's where a basketball junkie should be, and that's in the gym. Hey, please welcome as we talk about the state of girls basketball. Please welcome Huntington Lady Raiders on Raspberry Lane girls basketball head coach Brian Shine.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's going on, bro?
Welcome here in the building.
What's happening, man? What's going on?
Man, you got it, bro. Hey, man, you're first time in the Prep News. I know we interviewed you just, a couple years ago, but you haven't been on Prep News yet, I don't think, man.
It's been a little while, man, since I've been on here. It's been a while since we talked.
Yeah, I don't think I was doing Prep News the last time we got to chop it up.
Oh, you on the big dog status now, man. You going on?
No indeed, man. No indeed. I'm just a little fish in a big pond, man. So, hey, when I hit you up, man, I said I had to, we had to get this conversation in. I think it's uber important that we get this conversation in.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think right now that you guys in the Shreveport-Bossier Metroplex are doing great work off season.
I appreciate it.
Building girls basketball. So,
yeah.
Hey, can we talk about the state of girls basketball going forward for a little bit?
Man, honestly speaking, the state of Louisiana is girls basketball as a state. Like, we are growing rapidly, but in our area, talent is just off the charts. Like, basketball in our area is in good hands for the next 5 or 6 years. We have some amazingly talented girls. We have some really good parents that are pushing them and putting more into their academics as well as their athletics, and it's paying off. It's really paying off. These kids are very smart. Their IQs are growing at a younger rate, at a rapid pace, and it's going to make for some really, really good basketball for the next 4 or 5 years to come.
Right. How do we – and we know that basketball doesn't count until you make it to high school. It doesn't matter who you are as a toddler dribbling the ball. It doesn't matter who you are throughout your bitty ball career or if you have the most phenomenal middle school, junior high career ever. But it does not count until you get to high school. But what does count is the work and the progress within the process of getting to high school. How do we get more younger kids to fall in love with basketball at an earlier age?
I really think it's just about, making sure kids are around the game. The more the kids are around the game, the more they fall in love with it. My dad would always say, you do best what you do most. So a lot of times we hand them video games and cell phones and stuff like that. And so that's what they fall in love with. But if you start bringing them to the gym, I remember at a young age going to the gym every day.
Right.
Just being there every day, you start to grow a love for it. You start to grow a knack for it. And it's just kind of those type of things are what we need to start bringing our kids to more games and like let them see basketball, let them see people play ball. And then they'll start wanting to be, just like the idols and the people they see in front of them. So I think just getting them around the game more will help grow our game faster.
Right. I think it was about a week ago, man. I was over visiting my grandson when I was in Louisiana. And I remember Junior, he was probably 9-10 months old, but he was uber tall, man, for a baby. and he had started walking pretty decently. And the first thing I did the minute he went and started walking was went bought him a little tights, man. Like I will never forget that. And I got the opportunity to witness the torch being passed, man. And Junior's son just made one on Friday, and I got to witness my son handing his son.
Man, I know that was a good feeling.
Look, man, was it crazy?
Yeah, I know it's a good
crazy,
feeling,
man. And I can't even lie, man. I shed a tear, man. Like that was just an amazing feeling.
Yeah.
When you think of again the process of beginners' basic skill set.
Yeah.
Like until you have that intact, your game can't ever flourish.
It won't ever grow. Yeah, it's true.
And again, since we're in the business of building and growing here at Off the Bench Sports, like you're a coach on the girls' side that has shown the ability and capabilities to get girls to play beyond their skill set. Can you give us one of your characteristics of how you happen to get that accomplished?
I think the biggest part of it is relationship. So building a relationship with my kids, it's easier to get more out of them because they know I'm willing to go that length with them and be in the trenches with them. So a lot of the times, we ask kids to do things that we're not willing to do ourselves.
Facts. Time out. I want to stop you there.
Okay.
Before you go further into it, because I want to know when you're building those relationships, what are some of the things that you do with the girls, or what are some of the things that you tell them to get the? Because guess what? They have to believe in you to build a relationship.
Exactly. And the only way that I can get them to believe is to first let them see past products, people that have come before them, that may be expecting to pass the torch to them. So letting them talk to, I'm not in the business of trying to coerce them or get them to believe me. I let them talk to some of their peers that may have played for me, and that's your best advertisements are going to be your kids that played before you. They're not going to lie on you, and they're not going to lie with you. They're going to tell the truth. They're going to tell the truth. But so that's why I always try to be good to them and make sure they understand that it's always, everything I do is coming from a loving place. And just doing those things, taking them to eat, taking them to, church, building that team camaraderie and helping them to understand that it's all about a family first. And you're not always going to do everything perfect, but as long as you're trying to give me your full effort, coach going to give you the same back. And we're going to figure out where we land after that.
Right. So you're working, and this may sound a little awkward, but I don't know the other word to use. You're working on your loving coach aspect and building relationships with them, and now you ask them to do something that they absolutely cannot do. What terminology do you put that in?
Like you said, it's kind of like trusting and believing me, because a lot of them don't really. A lot of things I ask them, they look at me like, "Coach, are you serious? Like I can't do that." And I'm like, "Man, listen, it's all starting with bits and pieces, little small fundamentals, little small things. If you can focus on the small things, we'll get to the big target." But I think they just believe that, okay, if coach is telling me that I can do this, all I have to do is try. I may not do it perfect, but if I'm trying to do what coach is asking me to do, eventually I'll get where he wants me to be. And I think just believing that system, that part of it, they are able to accomplish a lot more, because we don't just try to give them the full plan at one time. We give them baby steps. Everything is baby steps.
Hey, that's one of the processes as a trainer that I use when I'm talking to and building relationships with kids. So if you cut the picture up into little pieces,
yes, that's it.
Now when you're putting the puzzle of the picture back together, you can see the picture. You can see that process coming together how if I'm working on my left to right crossover, and I pound, and then I jab step, and bring the ball back forward,
That's
it's
it.
going to be a lower trajectory on the bounce.
Yep.
But if
But you
I'm
can't get
standing
it
straight
all
up,
overnight. Yep.
right?
You
If
can't
I'm
do that all at
standing,
once.
if I'm standing straight up, the crossover is never going to be more than a pity pat with the ball.
Exactly.
Which all I got to do now is put my palm up under the ball, and you're going to give it to me defensively. And so in that process, that's what makes the learning curve great when you cut the picture up into little bitty pieces and then paste it back together.
I agree with you. We try to look at it as like sometimes we talk about baking a cake. You know, when baking a cake is like different ingredients go into making that cake. And you know, you don't just start with your mix and then, you know, you pull your mix out and boom, you got a cake. No, sometimes you gotta add eggs, you gotta add flour, you gotta add certain things into it, you know, to make sure you gotta whip it up. You know, you gotta put it all together. So it's not like, you know, it's everything has a certain step. And like I said, we don't want to skip any steps. So we take our time and give each step the same amount of attention, and then we put it together as we go in time. Nothing ever starts out. We start the season off in October, and we're never where we want to be. But by February, we're looking like the team that we want to look like. So that's what we try to instill in our kids. You're not gonna look. Rome wasn't built in a day. So you're not gonna get it all in one day. We're not gonna be where we want to be in November. Eventually, it's gonna take us time, but if we keep chipping away at it, when we get to the big stage, it's time to play. We'll be ready. So that's the way we look at things.
Absolutely. The process of I think about it as okay, you know the 3 phases of offense, defense, transition. The most important being the transition, because if you can turn defense to offense, you don't have to run offense.
You don't have to run offense.
And you really don't have to play defense because you've done the pre already, and now teams are just making mistakes because you're always where you're supposed to be.
Exactly.
You generally have really good defensive teams. What's your philosophy on that breakdown?
You literally just said my whole game plan most times. But we really want to, you know, speed people up, you know, and play fast. The faster you play, the more opportunities you have to score. The faster you play, a lot of teams don't prepare to play fast. We prepare to play fast. We want to play fast. We want to play hard. We want to play tough. We want to play aggressive. We don't want to get outworked. And if you're going to get outworked, it's because you're not playing fast enough, you're not playing hard enough, and you're not playing with enough IQ. So I think we just think on the defensive end, just try to be, like I said, be on time, be where you're supposed to be, rotate at a rapid pace, and know where your teammates are supposed to be on the floor. If you know where your teammates are supposed to be, then it helps you better recognize where you should be in that moment. Because a lot of times, sometimes your teammate may be in your position, so you got to counter and replace them. You know, so sometimes we take a lot of time on explaining those things over the season, so kids don't get confused when plays don't look like we normally practice. Because everything we practice is not what's going to happen in the game. So you have to be able to adjust. So being able to adjust on the defensive end is something that's really hard for kids. We spend a lot of time on it.
Absolutely, man. Again, in this process, you know, of coaching, and I just, you know, I can only assume because I haven't asked you the question yet, that you've gotten, you know, you came from the college level, you learned a lot coaching collegiate athletes, and learned a lot learning from other college coaches on the rigorous college schedule that's built around each and every team. The schedule is crazy in college.
Yes.
When you think about that, I know when we first transitioned back over, I kind of asked you, man, you know, are you looking to go back to college? And you was like, no, I'm cool right now, man. I'm trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
Part A is, have you gotten it? Have you finally gotten it figured out? And B, are you settled in with being a high school coach?
I have not figured it out yet, but I'm pretty close. I can be honestly say that we're getting a lot closer than we were when you asked me that question years ago. I figured out I'm getting close. I'm almost there. But B, I'm not complacent. I'm not just so I haven't bought into the fact that just being a high school coach for the rest of my life. The goal is to eventually, when God says to make that move, to go back to the college ranks.
Right.
I enjoyed it. I enjoy what I do now, but I really enjoyed that. Just to be able to travel the world more and see the world and see different athletes in different states and different areas, the recruiting, everything was fun. I enjoyed it all. And so just being able to do that over again, I would. So in the future, I could definitely see myself going back.
Man, all right, you got to catch this one now, Coach. You got to catch this one now.
Okay.
All right, girls high school, girls AAU, girls trainer, boys trainer. Which one is your absolute favorite? Because I think those are the four things that you do. You coach girls high school, you coach girls AAU, you train high school girls, and you train high school boys. Which is your favorite?
Oh man, I think I find the most fun, and this is gonna sound crazy. I find the most fun coaching girls basketball. And I love training. It's a tie. It's close because I love to train. I love to train kids. I love to see kids start at one point and then they move to another point in their athletics and being able in their skill set. But man, it's nothing like getting a team together at the high school level and getting everything clicking. It's nothing like it. Like once you got your girls together, you got them all clicking, they all firing off on all cylinders. They hype, they got good energy. They get out there and play. Just to see them out there playing and being successful, like that's probably one of the best feelings in the world.
Right.
Just to know that you have a team of kids that are working together for a common goal. I think you almost got me with that one. But I'm gonna say girls, high school girls coach. They might be some of my babies might be watching. I can't say nothing else.
Right. Because I'm gonna really throw you under the bus, not in, and I don't want you to accept no calls where somebody call you and say, "Man, why you let Hobart do you like that, man?" No. So I'm really finna throw you under the bus now.
Come on, man.
Post Elena Beard, because we know she's the best to ever walk the streets of Shreveport Bossier. We know that. That's not up or down. And if anybody got any question,
that's true.
Come see me.
That's true.
And again, Michaela almost pulled her pants down. She's so close.
Yeah, she the real deal, man.
But man, when you got Michaela got off we gave our first prep inaugural postseason awards out today, and I'm going to be hand delivering them next week. Not this week coming up, but the following week. But Michaela was unanimous vote getter for the girls. Like it's not even close.
Not close.
And that's the way Elena has been in girl. Like I don't think that even though we've had some girls that's been really good, Michaela is the closest girl.
I agree.
To Elena. So you can't use Michaela.
Okay.
The best girl you've seen in the state since Elena, without saying Michaela.
The best girls basketball player I've seen in the state without saying Michaela since Elena.
Yep. Sorry, bro.
That's easy for me though. Like I mean, you got.
I know who you're gonna say already. I know.
That's easy for me, man. Destiny Rice. I've only seen one Destiny, man. Destiny Rice is, man. Come on, like Destiny Rice, all day, every day.
Like I knew you was gonna say that, man. I knew you were gonna say that.
The things I've seen her accomplish, the things I've seen her get done. withdrawing triple teams, double teams, and coming out the game with 40, 50 points, and still feeling like she hadn't done enough. Like though, that just she had a different type of mentality. Like her mentality is what made her different from everybody else. Like she just persevered through whatever. You know what I mean? Even up into injury. So just seeing her play and the way she knew that she was going to be going into games being double teamed and still come out of the game with 20, 30 points, like that's hard to do in our state.
Right. Man, I know the feeling of that. I remember the first time I saw my son get triple teamed in a game, and I cursed so bad that day, bruh. I called the coach all kind of PMFs and bruh, I was on a tirade for real because he was still in middle school, bruh. And I'm like,
yeah.
To me, I was like, to me, he good, but he ain't that freaking good.
Yeah.
Well, you got a triple team him?
Yep.
So, one of my personal favorites, like I love 12 Island. 12 Island is it for me.
Yeah.
But when I look at young ladies like Paris Guillory.
Oh, yeah. She's nice. She's nice.
Jada Richard.
Nice.
Number 54 from Oak Hill.
Mm-hmm.
The point guard from Fairview. The Wilson, Coach Wilson daughter at Wiseman.
Yeah.
And it's girls all over the state. What's your advice to young ladies that are coming into the game right now? They're entering high school.
Okay.
What is your words to them and their parents as they come on Raspberry Lane, in a world famed, world renowned gym? Like man, honey, hey, y'all can say what y'all want. Y'all don't have to accept it, but Huntington has been the brand to be within the Shreveport-Bossier area. In Texas,
no doubt.
And Texas is the world of everybody else. So just for Pete's sake, I don't know who Pete is today, but you guys' names feel big into Texas.
Yeah.
I'm sure Coach Gerald, Nim, who coach at Kimball High School, Coach Nick Smith, they talk about Huntington all the time.
Yeah.
That's their brand. So what are you telling young ladies when they come on to your campus?
Well, when I talk to them and their parents, if they decide this is what they want to do, I just wanted them to know what they're getting, what they're getting and what they're giving. And they're going to get somebody in a coach that loves them, that cares about them on and off the floor, that is willing to do whatever it takes to get them to where they need to be. And I'm going to push them. I'm going to push them extremely hard. I'm going to push them past their limits. And a lot of times, for this generation of parents, I make sure they understand that everything I do is out of love. So when your child's being pushed, it's not to hurt them. And I'm not the coach that's gonna be waiting and calling you every 5 minutes to tell you that X, Y, Z. And no, I'm just gonna push your child as hard as I can. And then they just should be willing and ready to work and to learn, because we all gonna do everything together. We're gonna learn together. We're gonna work together. We're gonna get everything we got. We're gonna do film. We're gonna do all of the stuff, the little things that we know it's gonna take to get you to be a college athlete. And if you're not serious about basketball, I tell people all the time, everybody's not gonna go to college. But as long as you're here, there are qualities in this game that you can take away with you and take into the real world. And so my job is to apply those things and give you those things now in high school, so that when you go to college or you get out of school, you can always remember the principles that were set within Huntington Lady Raiders basketball that help you become a successful adult. So that's what it's about for me.
Right. Hey, man, like real spill. I'm really grateful that, because this is what a lot of people don't know. You're in the gym right now doing trials.
They looking for me. They looking for me.
And so, man, you took time out of this busy afternoon. In fact, I think you said you were gonna be in the gym all day till about 5 o'clock, from 12 to 5.
Yeah.
And so for you to take a break for little old me, man, you know.
Oh man, this all love for you, man. You always what you're doing around the state. I see you working hard to try to get the exposure out for our boys and girls. Like it's needed. Like we need that. You know, with our kids, we have so many talented kids, and you do a great job of going around to different places and trying to make sure you get the buzz going and make sure people understand that we got kids that can play too. So we
Oh yeah,
appreciate you.
we,
Anytime you call, I try to pick that phone up.
we definitely can hoop, man. We
Oh
definitely
yeah.
can hoop. We definitely can play
Yeah.
football.
Yep.
You know, we put as many kids from high school to the pros in baseball as anybody.
Yep. We got athletes,
and,
man. We got
you
athletes.
know, soccer is growing in the state of Louisiana. You know, soccer is a real thing in Louisiana now. And if I have anything to do with it, people are going to know that Louisiana can play volleyball and softball as well.
Exactly. You're doing a great job, man. You're doing a great job.
And so I'm just grateful that God put this divine, because it's really a ministry, man. In any other name, because you know some days I don't get paid from this.
I know it. I know it.
Some days I don't get paid from this, man. But it's been really great, and I absolutely love it. So, hey, Coach, thank you for taking a minute with Off the Bench Sports. And I know you don't do that shout out stuff, man. So get back at it, bro. Get back at it, man. I know my coaches now. I know my coaches.
You know me. You know me.
Right. You just got one word, G-O-D.
That's it, bro. That's it. That's all I need to talk about. That's it. You already know. God
Right,
first.
man. So, hey, we're going to let you get back to it, man. We really appreciate you for being on. And it's one love, Coach, for real.
One love, bro. I'll holler at you, man. See you later.
No doubt. Hey, man, it was great chopping it up, man. Coach Brian Shine, Huntington Lady Raiders, basketball. Again, you know, he lost out this year, but he knows how to win, and he does a great job of teaching our young ladies how to play the game the right way. I'm gonna get my guy on here. I might do one more show for basketball, man, because there's a couple more coaches that I didn't get to talk to that I absolutely want to talk to about their seasons and stuff. And joining us right now, I remember 2017. I remember 2017. That oh well, hey, my guest disappeared. I don't know what happened. He was here and then he wasn't. So let's see if I can make some magic happen. Okay, he's back. He's back. I think. Watch, I'm finna have two guests on at one time now. Oh, there he goes. Hey everyone. Again, I was saying I remember when we met in lost him again. So hey, y'all just be patient with us, man. We human. We make mistakes. Got another look at that. Hey, so we're just gonna give us a minute, y'all. But right now we're gonna bring in, man, my guy. This dude here, he went from being a meanie to the bro, and I absolutely love him. Please welcome Catholic Bears Baton Rouge coach Derek Jones. What is that? Is that the big beard you got now? I can't hear you. Nothing. Turn your volume up. All right, y'all. We got technical difficulties everywhere. Let's try this one. There he is.
What's up, man?
State champion. Say it with me. State champion head coach.
That's right. That's right.
Man, like you had a blast since last night.
Man, I'm exhausted. We got back.
I know. Like you've been up just celebrating all night.
Not like you think. Not like we could have.
Hey, no, I don't want to hear nothing about you watching no film about no game. I know you. You better not watch that game again.
No, I hadn't watched it yet. I hadn't watched it. I've just been soaking it in, man. I've been answering more text messages than anything.
Right.
Everybody coming out telling me congratulations, happy for the team, happy for the boys, happy for the community. It's been a whirlwind.
Man, you guys defeat a really good Ruston Bearcats team.
Yeah.
And then you guys have to turn around and again in a 48-hour time period, and you have to play the team that carried the #1 ranking in the state with a very good Wayne Bashea Randall and Christian Walker led team. What were your thoughts coming into the game, Coach?
I mean, like you said, we were 3. Ruston was 2. New Iberia was 1. I told Coach Chad after the game, Porsche at New Iberia, that he's got the toughest team we've played, and complimentary to him, he was #1, and for us to be #1, we had to beat him.
Right.
And we did that. It was just my guys played good at the right times. Everything fell in place, and it came out with us on top.
Let me ask you this, Coach, and it's not meant to be asked in a disrespectful way.
Yeah.
I think you know how I feel about you personally.
Right.
I had a coach tell me the other week that a team manipulated the system and losing a game here and losing a game there to stay opposite one in the 4 spot to be able to match up with that team in the state championship game if all things stayed equal.
Right.
Did any of that come into play with y'all where you knew you wanted to play the #1 seed?
Well, no.
In the final?
No, I can tell you, that's too much math. That's too much math. I don't put games out there to lose. I know some coaches might have that philosophy, and it's if it's in the rules of the power rankings, there might be a flaw in the power rankings, but end of the day, we wanted to get a top 4 seed because one of our team goals was to host a quarterfinal game, right, and to have that packed house and that emotional moment for the team and the town. And so we wanted a top 4 seed, and we got it. And, it didn't matter where we went, who we played. We thought we could play with anybody. So, if we drew Ruston, we knew they were tough. We got Walker, we knew they were tough. If we got New Iberia, we knew they were tough. If Washita had gotten there, they would have been tough. Your Lions started playing right. They just started playing okay.
Hey, you're gonna have to say the thing. If you say Washita Lions again, you're gonna have to say the chant with me.
Oh, I don't even know. I don't know the chant.
I'm gonna help you with the chant.
What's the chant?
So I said OPHS, and you said Rockstar House.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I ain't doing that to you, man. They gonna let you come back to Ponchatoula. We do that.
That's right. That's
I
right.
can only do that with Lions fans, man.
That's right.
That's an old thing from our days back. Back. Shit, I'm old, Coach.
No, you all right. You still look good.
say, I was out at brunch with my sister today, man, and I see Tyrese Radford playing in the SEC championship game.
Okay.
And my heart was so full of pride as a journalist.
Right.
A kid that I got this cover and see play. And now, he's I think a 5th-year senior who's phenomenal and has an opportunity to be another guy from the 2017 class that gets to go and be a pro.
Right.
Like we've been at the top of the food chain the last few years in basketball. We have a lot of guys leading ball clubs across the country.
Look, you got him, you got Virginia, you got Beekman over in Virginia.
Right.
You got guys. You got guys from Louisiana that can play, and Coach Micah Coleman that was at Natchitoches.
Right.
We were talking, and he says everybody, when you get to the Final Four, everybody's got one of those guys on their squad.
Right.
And we got one too. I hope to see on TV in a couple of years.
I think you got 2, man. Well, you probably got 3, depending.
Yeah, I think
we know about Alan Graves. Alan Graves is the given.
Yeah.
But 15, tell me his name again.
15, the young Cody.
Yeah, the 6'5" kid.
Oh, Brazil.
Yeah, and the point guard,
and Lewis, number 1.
Yeah, number 5.
Collier, Cameron.
Yeah. So
number 5.
That guy, to me, 5 is a defensive juggernaut. I love the way he played defense, and 15 just did. He did everything to me, man. Like I loved his game.
Yeah, he's just a sophomore. We got a couple of years with him. And one of the things with him is being a sophomore, you got to worry about getting consistent. And he's as soon as he clicks his coordination, he's gonna be a force. He's a puppy. He's trying to figure it out, ups and downs, but having is 6'5" and can run and jump. That's a big plus.
Right. When we look at it, man, it's one thing to be selfish in the game that this game that we love. It's and I guess being selfish is okay, but I think the game works best when played with discipline, toughness, and unselfishness. You guys showed a great bundle of that and playing as a team unit again, y'all played Scotlandville twice, y'all played Newman twice, y'all played Carver, y'all played Ruston, y'all played this, y'all played some of the biggest names across the state. And I think for me in the, even in the game when I specifically came to Luttrell to see you guys play,
right,
the one constant was unity. Like those guys believed in each other. How'd you guys get to that point, Coach?
A lot of them have been playing ball together before they got to me. Sorry about my voice. It's
okay. I understand.
Yeah, I was yelling a little bit last night. But those guys played together, AAU, rec ball coming up, and they've stayed together. And the parents have done a good job of keeping them together. And they played for the junior high and won the parish championship. And a couple like Graves went to U High his freshman year. I had a couple of guys go different schools, and they all said, "You know what? We want to be around our friends. Let's go back to Ponchatoula."
Right.
And I think that's a big compliment to our culture of that parents trust their kids, trust us with their kids, And when they got here, they're friends. They friends off the court. They friends on the court. They compete. Uh, they rip on each other, but then they back each other up. It's really it's really an awesome feeling to have guys that do that. I watched the Jimmy V 30 for 30,
Right.
and he was talking about how his kids, that team taught him about teammates can really love each other and support each other and bond. And that's what this team has done for me.
Right. How do you guys get to, or what is your next step? I know that the summer season hasn't began. I know that the first regular season game hasn't been played. You're 10 and a half months away from district.
Right.
What's the next step for Ponchatoula Green Wave basketball into? I ain't gonna even say it because I don't want to jinx y'all.
Well, we were talking about it last night on the bus ride home. We was excited, and I said, we're gonna enjoy this for a little bit. I said, but we a program, and a program is not defined by a single game or a single season. It's the consistency of what you do year in, year out. And so we talked about, we talked about how long we're going to take off and relax and enjoy. We're going to try and have a little parade in town on Main
Yeah.
Street. But then we're gonna start getting back in the weight room, and after we heal our bodies and our minds, we're gonna get back in the weight room. We're gonna get back. They're gonna play some summer ball. Do their AAU circuit. I might have Graves gonna be traveling all over the country. I got a couple guys that are doing some big time basketball, and then we'll just get them going this summer and start trying to go back for number 2.
Right.
You do it once, people say you're lucky. You do it twice, they may think you got something. I just want to be like Port Allen and DeMario and get 2 in a row. I want to be like Carlos and get me a handful of rings.
Right.
Those guys, I look up to those guys, and I compliment my program after them.
Right. Right.
And so, I think they probably enjoy it for a couple of weeks, but then it's time to get back at it. You got
Right.
young guys coming up that need to get work.
Well, the only way to, so first you have to learn how to win.
Yes.
And you learn how to win by watching winning programs.
And you got to play them too.
Right. Well, you want to watch them first.
Well, you watch them, then you go.
Yeah, don't get your brains beat out trying to learn, and then now you're angry, and all you can see is the 80-point win that Madison Prep beat you by. Every time you play them, that 80 points is staring you in your face,
right.
And now you're playing them from a place of 80-0.
Right.
And so watch, learn, see what they do, implement it in your program, see if development is happening.
Right.
And then you go say, okay, I'm going to see if I can punch a Scotlandville in the gut, or if I'm going to see if I can punch a Madison Prep, or a Catholic Baton Rouge, or a Walker, or a Natchitoches Central, or a can I say it now? Can I say it now? Now you guys are the 100.
Hey, it's tough. I mean, getting up into that spot, you try so hard, and I tell people, hey, you got bullseye on your back. Everybody going to send it for you. And I said, now definitely our message coming up is going to be, I'm sure winning one is tough. I'm sure repeating when everybody's coming to take your title has got to be even tougher.
Right.
And like I tell the team, I said, I don't know the recipe, but I know the ingredients. I said, we got it. I said, now I know the recipe. Every coach cooks a little bit different, but we got a lot of those ingredients coming back, and it's going to be another fun season coming up, and another war. It's going to be a war to get there.
Absolutely, man. You guys. I think I told you this a couple of times during the season. It's postseason now. I still have the exact same thoughts and or feelings about Ponchatoula Greenway basketball. I saw this a few years ago, and I told you I didn't know it was gonna be this to this degree. I'm not gonna sit there and act like but I told you y'all will be in the spot one day.
Right.
And you only proved you right that you do know how to coach, you do know how to inspire and motivate kids. You do love the game past the basic principles of it. And that's what winning a state championship means to most of us that care, man. We want to just thank you for taking a minute from your Sunday afternoon to join us. And we'll see each other soon, man. I'm gonna have another gift for you. How about that?
Hey, yeah, man. I'll get one for you too.
Okay, cool. That's what's up, man.
Yeah, man.
Hey, Prep News family, man, please welcome, man. This guy is a coach that became a friend. That's now my brother. I absolutely love Tom Taylor. He's a really cool coach and a better man.
Thank you.
No doubt, man. Hey, we'll talk soon, bro. We gotta do that thing too, man. I want to do that thing, man.
Give me a shot, bro.
Yeah. So the season over with now. We should be able to get more coaches.
Yeah. We'll get people in there and recap or talk about what's coming up, and I think that'd be fun. I liked it.
All right. Cool. We'll talk in a few days when you get some rest.
Yeah, man.
All right. Hey, Tom Taylor, off the bench, Sports Prep News family. No doubt. Hey, he's ready now. He's back. What up, Coach?
What's happening?
Nothing much, man. Congratulations.
Appreciate it, man.
Is that my guy? Is that my guy I see in the back? Is that my guy?
Who?
Max. Man. Hey, Max.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Congratulations.
I appreciate it, man.
Last night was a culmination of a 2-year process for you.
I mean, last year, we took the job. We didn't have very much experience. I think we had 2 guys returning that had varsity experience. We had a very talented freshman class coming in. But last year was more about development. About teaching them, a new system, offensively and defensively. Kind of implementing some of the things that I do that were different than, the previous coach did. And we had some success. We finished 21-13. Lost a lot of close games that, had we made some better decisions down the stretch, or had we made a play here or there down the stretch, we would have, had more success with it. And then coming in this year, we had a lot returning, a lot of experience returning from the previous year. And, we won a lot of close games this year. That was a big difference in our record. And as the year went on, we played a very tough schedule intentionally. One, because we wanted to try to finish in the top 4 in the power ranking, so we would be able to host home games in the playoffs. But also, we felt these guys could handle it. And even though we knew we were going to lose some games playing tough opponents, that when playoffs came around, we were going to be more seasoned and ready to play in big games. And that's kind of what happened. I mean, we kind of got hot at the right time. I think we ended up winning 9 of our last 10 games. Guys really bought in down the stretch, not only to what the coaches were selling them, but also they bought into each other, and they really learned to trust each other and really count on one another. And and last night was just, it really still hasn't sunk in for me. I'm not going to tell you I was shocked by the outcome by any stretch, because I thought we had a really good team, and I thought if we did some things well, we would have a chance to win the game. But also, every time you win it, it takes a little while for it to really sink in. I mean, this is obviously the 2 at Port Allen. you may expect to go in and win them, but it doesn't really hit you until a couple days after that. All the work you put in, all the sacrifices you made during the season, that it actually paid off.
Can we talk about some games that you guys incurred along the way?
Sure.
Let's start with I think for me, one of the biggest tests for you guys was playing Port Allen.
Yeah.
A team that the majority of the Port Allen team knows your offense and your defense schematics. How did you finesse the flavor of that game and getting your kids to understand that they knew what you wanted to do as a coach?
I didn't. I didn't change. My calls are still the same as we had at Port Allen. Defensively. Now we got some different calls offensively, but we added some stuff over the years. But defensively, all my calls are the exact same. So when I said 22, they know what that means. 50. It's not about, for us, it's not about trying to trick people and smoke and mirrors and all that kind of stuff. It's more about, us being able to do what we do and do it better than you can do it, better than you can counter. And Port Allen game was a huge win for us confidence-wise. It was a road game. They beat us the year before. They were undefeated at the time. They had beaten some good teams. And Port Allen was one of the best teams in the state this year, regardless of class. And we went into a hostile environment. Those fans are great. I still get a lot of love from a lot of them. I still communicate with a lot of them. But when it comes down to Port Allen basketball and that ball's being tipped, they're 100%. They bleeding blue, and they gave us a hard time. They like anybody else. But my kids went in and they were tough. They persevered. We actually were down, I think, double digit, 2-possession game late in the fourth quarter, and we were able to make some plays and ended up winning at the buzzer. A kid off the bench, Will Sterling, who was huge for us last night, made a big play and gave us the lead, and we were able to get a stop, similar to last night's game where they had the ball last and we had to stop them, and we did. Right. So that was a huge, huge game. And as a coach, you want to play those kind of games early in the year so that when you get late, you can reference that kind of stuff. Hey, guys, remember the Port Allen game. Remember the Walker game. Remember the Madison Prep game when we didn't do what we were supposed to do, and it cost us a game. So that's part of the reason as a coach, we play whoever. We'll play the best teams. I'm not really big on trying to pat my career record. The only thing I care about is these guys, growing and maturing and as young men, and then also being in a position to maximize their potential and compete for championships at the end of the year. So if we have to lose 12 games in a season, but it gets us ready to go and play for a championship, then I would take that every year.
Right, absolutely, man, absolutely. I'm glad you brought up Madison Prep, man, because that was one of the games that I wanted to talk to you about, a team that over the last 14, 15 years have been one of the flag bearers in basketball. I think they got 9 or 10 state champions, 3 or 4 runner-ups. But this year they just had they didn't have the traditional size-driven team. They had a lot of guys that were in the 5'9" to 6'4" range that were just super athletic and got after you, but not as strong defensively on the defensive side of the ball as they generally are.
I disagree. I think they were very good. I think they were the best defensive team in the state.
You do?
They held us to 34 points at home. They were the only team that could really match up all 5 of us. They went in and beat Newman, and they didn't. That was a low scoring game. I thought they were one of the best defensive teams in the state. I think they struggled offensively.
I'm not saying that they weren't one of the best, but generally, I've seen Madison Prep defenses hold teams to 13, 15 points. I remember one year, I think that was like 6 years ago, Josh Anderson, Josh LeBlanc, Kobe Julian.
Yeah, bad teams, but they held us to 34. Like we averaged in the 60s. Like
he said bad teams.
Yeah, they might have held bad teams to 15 points, but I'm talking about Newman. They held Newman under 50. They held, but offensively they struggled because they really only had one guy who could shoot the ball. The point guard was a decent shooter. Obviously, Jace was a knockdown guy, and then Josh is more of a slasher than anything. But I think they got in trouble because they had young bigs that's still developing, that didn't really give them a whole lot offensively. So as good as they were defensively, they kind of struggled a little bit offensively this year, and you saw that in the championship game against Carver. Carver just zoned them, almost dared them to take jump shots, and they did. The other thing they're really good at was rebounding their misses, and Carver was able to match their length and athleticism a little bit and keep them off the glass. But I think Coach Jones at Madison Prep does as good a job as anybody in the state.
Oh, without a doubt.
I think not only on the defensive side of the ball, but the offensive side of the ball. But sometimes you just have nights like yesterday, and the ball didn't bounce your way. And we had a couple like that this year, and we were fortunate to survive some nail biters with some teams that on paper we were 20 points better than. So, whenever you're dealing with 15 to 18-year-olds, sometimes you don't know what you're going to get on a given night,
Right. For certain, man. The process, and again, it's my apologies because I probably should know their names, but yeah, sometimes I sleep and things slip the forefront of my mind. I want to talk about these kids real quick. 3, 4, 5, 22, and 24.
Yeah.
Tell us about those kids and how valuable they were to the plan of execution that you guys have put together all season.
3 is Dennis Abad III. He was a senior for us this year. When I came in, he was labeled as a shooter. Like he was a kid that could really shoot the ball. Was kind of a Vinnie Johnson microwave kind of player. Could get hot, could make 3 or 4 in a row, make deep threes. But that was it. That was the extent of his contribution to the team. He really, one person told me, referred to him as being allergic to the paint. Like he didn't want to go in the paint at all. Like, and then defensively, his nickname was D3. But I remember the first week on the job, I told him, look, I refuse to call you D3 until you start guarding somebody. So I'm gonna call you by your first name, Dennis. Right. And that kind of stuck. So I was the only one that called him Dennis. Well, the last 6 weeks of the season, he probably was one of our best defenders. Right. He really grew as a player. He was forced to play the point this year with when number 5, Nico Jones, got injured. We moved him to the point, and he's become a complete player. Like he's scoring it on all 3 levels. He can get in the paint. He can get by his guy. He facilitates and gets other guys shots. He defends the other team's point guard and harasses them and keep them in front. His conditioning has gotten better. He made a huge jump, and this was a huge part of us making this run was the success he had as a player. 4 is Connor Green. He's another senior for us. Stepped up big last night, made some shots. Did the same thing against Liberty at Liberty, where he went. I think he went 6 of 8 from 3. But Connor was a guy that kind of was up and down, struggled to be consistent at times, but another guy that just you could bring off the bench and he could provide some pop for you. 5 is Nico Jones, my son, who is again recovering from an ACL surgery. He's not even 10 months out yet, but he was itching to get back on the court to help his team. The doctor cleared him in February. We played him some JV games, played him in a couple of varsity games at the end of the year, and then he ends up starting for us in all of the playoff games because basically my staff made that decision because I was opposed to him starting because I thought, I was thinking about somebody trying to say I was giving preferential treatment or something. But my staff made that call, and I think it was the right decision. We started games better with him out there. It gave us a rotation where we could get him out early, then get him back in and get Dennis and Tate McCurry, get those guys a rest early in the half, and where they come in back in the second and third quarter and their legs are fresh. 22 is Dylan Gifford. That's the kid that guarded Big Pop last night. Did an unbelievable job of just battling to not let him get deep catches. And then when he did get deep catches, just sacrificing, knowing he's going to probably take an elbow to the face. And 3 out of 4 times, Pop got the ball and put it in there and just took it right on the chin. And,
right.
And knowing it probably wasn't going to get called either. So he battled, and he was the one that Pop was guarding on the other end of the floor. And he's got guard skills. He's about 6'2", 6'2 and a half, but he's got guard skills as well. Doesn't shoot it as well as some of our other guys, but we knew if we got a lead late in the second half and Pop, we were going to take him out the game. We were going to make Schuylerville have to adjust to us because we were going to just, whoever he's guarding, he can't move laterally, and we were going to just, spread him out and make him take him out the game, and that's what we did. And we scored a couple baskets. And then 24 is Tate McCurry, another sophomore guard for us, who led us in scoring this year with about 16 a game. The ultimate gym rat, the ultimate unbelievable kid, 4.0 GPA, absolute sponge when it comes to basketball. It's like wants to be great, works his tail off, and has a chance to be a special, special player before he leaves Catholic High. And then I think he's going to have a chance to play at the next level.
Facts. I remember I've been following Madison Prep.
Breaking up a little bit.
I've been following Madison Prep's Louisiana Elite Showcase team since maybe 2020 on the Under Armour circuit, and I think I went somewhere and watched them play, and he stood out better than anyone on the court because of his work ethic and his determination. Like you said, he isn't the biggest guy, but he isn't defend to stand in front of nobody, or he doesn't care who stands in front of him. He just does the things that he does really well. We lost Coach Jones, you guys. I don't know what that was. So, hey, great show today, man. We want to welcome and thank Coach Justin Collins, Bossier Bearcats basketball. Congrats to the Bossier Bearcats on winning their state championship. Coach Brian Shine, Huntington Lady Raiders basketball. Coach Tom Taylor and his Ponchatoula Greenway basketball fans and family and players on winning their state championship, as well as Coach Derek Jones and the Catholic Baton Rouge Bears players, fans, family, community on winning their state championship as well. Man, generally this is the last show of the year, and then we're moving on. Like, I'm gonna do, it's my intent, it's my goal to do a lot more with baseball, softball this year. And again, I'm still gonna be covering some volleyball events that I can make it to. And so, man, it's been a really great, really phenomenal basketball season. Again, me, Coach Tom Taylor, and Coach Travis Uzi. We're gonna try to continue to do some basketball stuff with different coaches across the state, and we have a couple of basketball things that we're gonna try to do here at Prep News as well. So just stay around and be a part of the game. Also, man, we want to congratulate Paris Guillory and Devion Laverne on being named the Hobart Grayson IV Built to Ball Award winners, as well as Michaela Williams, 12 Island, and Dorian Booker and EJ McQuillan on being nominated as the most outstanding, Off the Bench Sports Most Outstanding Players of the Year award. Kudos to Michaela and Dorian and EJ on their success. But that's why we play the game, man. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Sometimes the best team doesn't win. Sometimes the worst team doesn't lose. You know, I didn't make that up. That's how the game of sports and athletics have always been, you know, throughout the process of history. So again, we're just glad that we can be a part of the moment, to share in the fun and excitement of what's high school basketball. And on that note, man, y'all know what it is. Remember, get off the bench, get into the game.